limit h tends to 0 plus half into f of a plus h plus f of a minus h. Okay. And in second I, limit h tends to 0 plus half into f of a plus h minus f of a minus h. तो हमको दुटा क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करबा को हबो. The first question given अछि f is continuous. When we say function is continuous, if limiting value is equal to functional value, if the limit value function values are same achi, that means continuous. That means since continuous given but f is continuous, that means limiting value is equal to functional value at where at x equal to a, limit x tends to a, f of x is equal to f of a. Okay, that means limit means that implies limit x tends to a minus f of x is equal to limit x tends to a plus f of x is equal to f of a. That means left hand limit is equal to right hand limit is equal to f of left hand limit. That means we may write limit a minus. That means x tends to a minus h. That means h tends to 0. F of a minus h is equal to limit h tends to 0. F of a plus h is equal to f of a. Okay. तो एटा हमको हमें कौन क्वेश्चन नो पाइले. एबे कौन क्वेश्चन पचारछि. The limit h tends to plus half into f of a plus h plus f of a minus h. Here limit h tends to 0, f of a plus h is equal to f of a, and this also is equal to f of a. Okay. Now from I, limit h tends to 0 plus half into f of a plus h plus f of a minus h, which is equal to, here is plus half, taking plus half to outside, equal to limit h tends to 0, f of a plus h plus limit h tends to 0, f of a minus h. Okay, which equal to, taking plus half to outside, which equal to half into, तो एटा वैल्यू कौन अछि a plus h रो f of a plus a minus h रो also value f of a, which equal to 1 by 2 into 2 into f of a, 2 cancel, is equal to f of a. Okay. Similarly, what was second bit question? Minus. Only here minus. Second I question, limit h tends to 0 plus half into f of a plus h minus f of a minus h. Okay, which equal to, taking plus up to outside, limit h tends to 0, f of a plus h minus limit h tends to 0, f of a minus h. Okay, plus means half into, here value equal to f of a minus f of a is equal to half into 0, which equal to 0. Hello all, this is Sagarika. Welcome to SAGU'S Math. Today's topic is the rest questions of exercise 7a of elements of mathematics book. We already discussed the question number 1 or solve question number 1. Now move for question number 2 to onwards. Then what is the question number 2? If a function f is continuous at x equal to a, then find limit h tends to 0 plus, what was question number 3? Find the value of a and b, find the value of a such that the function defined by the function f defined by f of x is equal to sin ax by sin x if x not equal to 0 and 1 by a if x equal to 0 then is continuous at x equal to 0. This for CTS for continuous. ठीक ଅଛି तमे solution find the value of a तो ये a रो value हमें पाए okay function f कौन अच्छी हमको continuous means limiting value equal to functional value. That means we may write limit x tends to 0 f of x is equal to f of 0. Listen, at x equal to 0 what is the value of the function? Fx is equal to 1 by a. Okay. Now limit x tends to 0 f of x which is equal to sin ax by sin x because x not equal to 0 tends to 0 रे function ना value कौन sin ax by sin x. Okay, which is equal to 1 by a. That implies देखो ये अच्छे हमारा sin ax by sin x तो x प्लेस रे मु 0 पुट करेबी 0 पुट करले sin a into 0 by sin 0 ठीक अछि तो which equal to sin 0 value 0 by 0 which is not determined. Okay एटा हमरा डिटरमिन करबा तने जानि छे गोटे फार्मूला limit x tends to 0 sin x by x is equal to 1 है ना लिमिट रो फार्मूला तमे ए फार्मूलाटा यूज कर एठी मु कोन करली लिमिट x टेंड्स टू 0 एठी देखो sin ax अछि मु कोन करली sin ax by x करली गोटे फार्मूला पुट करबा पई डिवाइड बाय sin x by x न्यूमरेटर एंड डिनोमिनेटर बोथ रे मु कोन करली x रे डिवाइड करछि ओके which implies limit x tends to 0 sin ax by x divide by limit x tends to 0 sin x by x which equal to 1 by देखो मोर एठी गिवन ax अछि जदि ax अछि मु कोन फार्मूला पुट करबी limit ax tends to 0 sin ax by ax is equal to 1 देखो that means मते तळे उठे a दरकार that's why मु गोटे a multiply करली denominator रे and also numerator रे multiply numerator a टा हमर कोन आसला तो outside नै जाउची that implies a outside नै गली देखो एठी also a if x tends to 0 that means a into x tends to a into 0 that means a x टा को होबो 0 को tends को तो here we may write ax tends to 0 okay listen if x tends to 0 that means both side रे multiply कले x tends to a into 0 that means x also tends to 0 एटी x tends to 0 लिखिबा प्लेस रे मु x tends to 0 पुट कर ओके एटी a कोन कले कांस्टेंट बाहर को नै गली देन रहला लिमिट ax tends to 0 sin ax by ax divide by this equal to 1 which equal to 1 by a. That implies a into this limit value is equal to 1 which equal to 1 by a. That implies a square is equal to 1. That implies a equal to under root of 1 which equal to plus minus 1. Okay. If fx is equal to ax square plus b 1 to ax minus b. If x less than 1, if x is equal to 1, if x greater than 1 is continuous at x equal to 1, then find a and b. Okay. How will we solve? Can we solve kariba? Similar same formula. हमको function continuous अच्छे at x equal to 1. That means limiting value is equal to functional value. ठीक है जी? That means limit x tends to 1, f of x is equal to f of 1. That means left hand limit is equal to right hand limit. Limit x tends to 1 minus f of x is equal to limit x tends to 1 plus f of x is equal to f of 1. Okay, which we may write family h tends to 0 f of 1 minus h is equal to limit h tends to 0 f of 1 plus h. Okay, is equal to f of 1. देखो 1 minus h रे function value कौन that means less than 1 रे function value कौन अच्छी ax square plus b. Okay. Right hand limit greater than 1 रे function value कौन अच्छी 2ax minus b. ठीक है तमे एटी function value put करिबा limit h tends to 0 f of 1 minus h. That means a into 1 minus h ro square plus b because less than 1 रो function रो value कोन अछि ax square plus b which equal to limit h tends to 0 1 plus h greater than कोन अछि 2a into in place of x we will write 1 plus h minus b is equal to at x equal to 1 function value equal to. That means put kala pare a into 1 minus 0 square plus b is equal to 2a into 1 plus 0 minus b is equal to 1. That implies a plus b is equal to 2a minus b is equal to 1. ठीक अछि तमाने हमको दुईटा इक्वेशन मिलिला a plus beta 1 and 2a minus beta is equal to 1. Simplify करिबा दुईटा इक्वेशन को ऐड करूची which equal to 3a is equal to 2. A is equal to 2 by 3. A रो value असला 2 by 3. From a plus b is equal to 1. B is equal to 1 minus a which equal to 1 minus. Here what is a value? 2 by 3 is equal to 1 by 3. 3 minus 2. B is equal to 1 by 3. Solve. Next, question number 3. Sorry, question number 5. So that sin x is sorry, continuous for every real x. Okay? Solution. Given fx is equal to sin x. ठीक है तो हमें sin x कंटिन्यूअस शो करिबा फॉर ऑल रियल x दैट मींस मोड रियल वैल्यू नै जिबी सेटा नै जिबी सपोज a तो मु a रे सर्च करिबी जदि कंटिन्यूअस दैट मींस ऑल रियल वैल्यू रे कंटिन्यूअस हो ठीक अछि तो कंसीडर the point x equal to a is any real value or any real number. Okay. F of a is equal to sin a. ठीक है it limit x tends to a minus f of x is equal to limit h tends to 0 f of a minus h. Okay, which equal to limit h tends to 0 limit h tends to 0 sin of a minus h which equal to sin a minus 0 which equal to sin a. So now for right hand limit x tends to 0 plus f of x is equal to limit h tends to 0 f of a plus h which equal to limit h tends to 0 sin a plus h which equal to sin a plus 0 is equal to sin a. ठीक अछि that means left hand limit also sin a right hand limit sin a and function value also sin a. That means the function is continuous at x equal to a that implies is satisfied. Since left hand limit is equal to right hand limit is equal to function. So if the function is continuous at x equal to a, similarly the function is continuous at every real number. Okay. Is all non-zero value रे function टा हमर कोन हो discontinuous हो. Okay, that means and x belongs to R, non-zero real number. Okay, consider x equal to a b any real number. A को मोटे real number consider करे. Okay, if a is rational, real number under रे both rational irrational जीवो. Okay, so the a टा rational अच्छी, that means f of a is equal to कहाँ हो 1 because rational रे 1. ठीक है now मैं कौन करबी limiting value बाहर करबी है ना तो फंक्शन ने वैल्यू 1 आसिला जदी लिमिट रो वैल्यू 1 आछी दैट मींस कंटीन्यूअस जदी 1 आसुनी दैट मींस डिसकंटीन्यूअस त माने मु एबे कोन करूची राइट हैंड लिमिट ने जाउची लिमिट x टेंड्स टू a प्लस f of x which equal to limit h tends to 0 f of a plus h. Okay, f of a plus देखो rational density theorem गोटे अछि ठीक अछि rational density theorem. Rational density theorem goes if x is a rational number, y is a rational number and x less than y, that means there is at least one irrational number. That means x y bhitar gote irrational number. Okay, if when we take Here limit h tends to 0 f of a plus h. ठीक अच्छे तो a plus h may rational or irrational. That means limit does not exist. Because limit value lies between 1 or 0, either 1 hobo or 0 hobo. That means since limit does not exist, that means how will we show limit value equal to functional value? ठीक अच्छे that's why the function is discontinuous. Okay. The function f defined by f of x is equal to x if x is rational. If x is irrational. Okay. Is continuous at x equal to 0 and discontinuous at discontinuous for all x not equal to 0 belongs to R. ठीक अच्छे तो x equal to 0 रे फंक्शन टा कंटीन्यूअस हबो x not equal to 0 रे फंक्शन टा डिसकंटीन्यूअस केमति करबा that means continuous means limiting value equal to functional value तो लिमिट बाहर करबा फंक्शन अच्छे at f of 0 0 is rational number at x equal to 0 f of 0 is equal to 0 ठीक अछि now for left hand limit x tends to 0 minus f of x which equal to limit h tends to 0 f of 0 minus f of 0 minus h which equal to limit h tends to 0 देखो f of 0 minus h means f of minus h f of x रे हमर आसुची x x is rational f of x रे आसुची minus x if x is irrational ठीक अछि that means here is minus h so it has to be minus h if x is rational it has to be minus of minus h if x is irrational okay which equal to limit h tends to 0 minus h here as well h x belongs to q and x does not belongs to q which equal to 0 put kale same 0 hi ase okay similarly for right hand limit limit x tends to 0 plus f of x which equal to limit h tends to 0 f of what 0 plus h equal to limit h tends to 0 function value at x here x place रे हमें कौन करेगा h put कर देगा is equal to h here minus h if x is what rational if x is irrational here equal to 0, h0 minus h also 0 put kale h रे 0 put kale 0 minus h रे 0 put kale minus 0 which both are 0. That means left hand limit is equal to right hand limit. Means limit x tends to 0, f of x is equal to f of 0. ठीक है? So function is continuous. Equal to 0. So function is continuous. Okay. Next question कौन थिला? X not equal to 0 belongs to R. That means non-zero real value रे हमर कौन आसीबो discontinuous. ठीक अछि? Now for x not equal to 0. x0 नुहे let x equal to a. मु a लेछि एटा को rational लेछि. ठीक अछि? At x equal to a, f of x is equal to. ठीक अछि? If h is rational, if h is what irrational. ठीक अछि? h rational. That implies limit x tends to a minus f of x does not exist. ठीक अछि? Similarly, limit x tends to a plus f of x does not exist. Okay? ठीक. So the function is discontinuous. Okay, function ta discontinuous. And x belongs to R. Number 8 achi, so that the function f defined by fx is equal to x and 0 if x is rational. If x is irrational. Is discontinuous. Is discontinuous at everywhere except at x equal to 0. That means x equal to 0 रे continuous होगा, other than function is discontinuous. Similarly, हमें number 5 to जेमती solve कले हमें solve करिबा, because data irrational भितरे rational रहिबो और data rational नेले ता भितरे irrational रहिबो. That means we may not conclude what the function x or 0. That means limit value does not exist, so the function is discontinuous. जेहेतु आम conclude करि परबे limit ର value x आसीबो और 0 आसीबो. At point a रे a जदि rational होची x आसीबो, a irrational हेले 0 आसीबो. That means here जदि मु left hand limit नोची, that means it may rational or irrational. Okay, that means either a आसीबो or 0 आसीबो. Sorry. है ना? so we may not conflict. That's why. Similarly, proceed kariba. Question number 6 7 जेमती करा Okay. Okay, thank you.